So it's Ben Hunt, speaking of contracts, who's off contract at the end of next season. He'll be signed after the 1st of November. He gets us underway here this afternoon. It's gorgeous at Combank. The Tigers to work it away from their own end through Joe Offahengawi. He will play it here, stopped well inside his own 10. Good start for the Dragons. Big chase off the kickoff as Simpkin comes out of dummy half. Interesting lineup today, given all the injuries and suspensions they have. Today featuring Simpkin, Brown and also Little, three primarily hookers in the 17. It's unusual.
Yeah, very unusual, and it's a good start here for the Tigers after they recovered. Only made the 10 metres from the kickoff. They've recovered at the back end of this set anyway. They've got to complete here. You've got to take the onus on yourself. What are you going to do for the team? What am I going to do? Put my hand up. Don't be waiting around for someone else to do the hard yakka.
One of those hookers, Manu Brown with the carry as the kick from Adam Dewey. He'll be looking to bounce back this afternoon. Had an unhappy game. I guess he was in good company there, though, amongst the Tigers at the SCG last week, especially defensively. He was below his best. I'm sure there'll be a response today from the Tigers 5'8". It's Tau Moga had the first hat-trick of his career last week in the 46-26 win over the Gold Coast down there in Wollongong. Jaden Sewer takes it forward. Game number 100 in his NRL career. Will rain down the short side from the Dragons. They take it back into Tigers territory as Lomax from dummy half works it forward. Stopped there by Madden. Around the legs also was Asu Kapoa. They've got one more play. It's Hunt. They'll kick to the far side. Difficult for the outside backs looking into the sun. On that far side of the field here in the first half. The Tigers make the catch there through Junior Palga, and we go downstairs to Nico Pajarilio.
Good afternoon, Warren, Steve. It is a crystal clear day here in Sydney's Golden West. Nice and still, perfect conditions for rugby league. It's an interesting game here today, gents. The Dragons showcased some exciting attacking football. As we see an error here, we might stay with the play.
Ball put down and a chance for George Illawarra to come on the attack.
They can't get back over the halfway line. Had a little bit of a bo peep there. Offahengawi knocks the football on. And here's the first opportunity. 35 metres out. The Saints in the middle of the ground. I mentioned a little bit earlier, they've got some wonderful attacking players. Just have a look out here for Ramsey. Very elusive runner. Here's their chance now to open the scoring for the Dragons.
Hunt wrapping off the back of the scrum from Sullivan, the number 9 jersey today with Andrew McCulloch out. Didn't last that long last week before suffering a knee injury against the Gold Coast. Blake Laurie will work it forward and a set restart here for the Dragons. Sullivan from dummy half. Goes to Bird, playing it lock. Moan for Sewer, running towards Madden. He'll like that matchup if we can get to Madden during the course of this game. They're only 5 metres out. Slow play the ball here. Lomax waiting at dummy half. Finds Amon. The Tigers up pretty quickly defensively. DeBellin goes to Hunt. Shows it. Another block play. Ramsey on the outside of To'a, who did well. Got some help there from Palga, and they wrap him up only a couple away. Back to Maguire. Showing it. Burn one here while they get themselves organised. Back out to this right-hand side. Hunt is there waiting for it. Here's Bird again. First man option was DeBellin. Ball came free. Play on is the call. Bird is so strong in those one-on-one confrontations. Gave it to Amon. He stopped there. Tackled by Manu Brown. And the Dragons have one more. Sullivan for Bird. Here is Hunt. He grubbers off the legs there of Dewey. It comes back to the Tigers. Brown has it, and they've hung on.
Yeah, it looked like he was in an offside position there to dive on the ball. There's panic stations there for the Tigers. A grubber kick had ricocheted off one of the Tigers players. And Brown dives on the football there. Here's Dewey out of dummy half.
Good carry there. Brings it back to almost the 30. And they made the previous mistake, which had them under huge pressure. They'll work it away here without incident. They'll bring it back to the 10, short of the halfway line as To'a Takes it back into Dragons territory. He was able to beat Ben Hunt there. Nice carry. One more play here as Dewey gets the chance to put up a bomb across the field. Naden on this left wing today. Catch made by Tau Moga. That was good work. He was a little at sea coming forward, but made the catch all the same. And the Dragons have it just inside their 30 with Zach Lomax. No score as yet.
It was a little bit of a late decision there to take that ball on the full from Moga. Ended up a beautiful take from him. Started the game well too, the Dragons. Their completion. 3 from 3 to start the game.
Sullivan from dummy half. Grabbed a try himself last week in that 20-point win against the Gold Coast. Collision here, the reaction from the Dragons players. They thought there might have been some high contact. As it turns out, it's play on is the call from that Fiona, who's playing at left centre to begin the game. Tyrell Sloan on the left wing. Bird playing it here. Moan comes to Sewer. Lomax cut out ball goes to Moga. Grubbers. Sewer back on the inside in game number 100. He celebrates with the first try of the game and a lovely work play down the short side by the Dragons.
I think it's Moga that puts the kick in. He was the man that caught the ball on the full, just up the other end of the field. Such a powerful player, playing in his 100th game here. Jaden Sewer gets the try. Let's have a look at the scramble here from the Tigers. A cut-out pass here. Moga with the kick back in field. I think they're offside here. Both players.
That was the question, whether they were. And a foot back behind with the point. The ball makes contact with the foot here of Tau Moga. It was very tight in running. Sewer cleans it up. And we'll wait and see if the bunker wants a closer look at this. That angle there, well, it's all very difficult unless you have a camera exactly in line with the play. It's hard to be definitive, and perhaps the bunker will go with the on-field referee, and that's what they've done.
Well, I think it was Amon who got in front of Sewer there after the kick was kicked back in field by Moga. He was definitely offside. But it's Sewer who collects the ball and scores.
He played 31 games, the Broncos, to begin his career, 52 for the Rabbitohs beyond that. And now in game 17 for the Dragons. He's getting a little bit of a standing 8 count here just to make sure he's okay.
Must have landed awkwardly as he put the ball down there. He hit his head on the ground.
The balance test looks to be rock solid there. I don't know, we'll pass muster it down at your local yoga class, though. Wasn't quite the tree, was it? You're a big yoga fanatic, Blocky.
Bikram for me. That's a hot one, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Lomax now, 5 in from this western touchline, bending it back. He's a lovely striker of the ball. And the Dragons on top. It's 6 points to 0 here at Combank, Nico.
Yeah, great finish there from Jaden Sewer in his 100th NRL game. It's actually the first season of his 100-game career that the club he's at has not made the finals. He said he came to this club to play September footy, and it stings that it hasn't happened in 2022. His teammate Zach Lomax, though, did tell the media that Jaden spent the week going around the club letting everyone know that today was his 100th. So I think it's fair to say he'd be stoked with a try in his milestone match, Warren.
There's no question about that. It was quite the celebration. Dragons pick up, I guess, from where the Roosters left off scoring early. We'll see if they score often, as the Roosters did against the Tigers at the Sydney Cricket Ground. Comes to Tau Moga off the right wing, in for a carry, and some valuable yards here. With a slow play the ball, though, after they turn him onto his back. Tom Freeburn was there as his hands full here with the bell, and Freeburn couldn't stop him. Bird from Maguire puts it down. So a chance for the Tigers to hit back almost immediately.
I think he got a little bit excited, looked up and saw the space there. It was a beautiful offload there from Jack de Belin. Good footwork through the middle. Gets the offload. Maguire knocks on. Maybe the pass was a little bit too hard. They had the numbers on the outside there.
dangerous, don't they, with the ball at the moment. St George Illawarra standing in tackles, offloading. It's a small Tigers forward pack, given all the injuries they have, missing as many as maybe 9 players who would be in the 17 today through both injuries and suspension. They've got a chance here, though. 25 metres out, Simpkin from dummy half. He goes to Madden. There's Offahengawi. They'll play it just outside the 20. Back to the middle they come, through Brown. Pass goes to ground. Then Dame Laurie can't clean it up. We saw a bit of that last week at the SCG.
Well, it's a terrible pass there to Laurie. Just trying to come in. A couple of decoy runners running, and he was the second man. It's a terrible pass. Just couldn't pick it up, knocks it on. He's throwing the ball at his ankles there. Execution, the problem for the Tigers. A couple of errors early. First one off Ngawi, and now Laurie. I don't know if you can blame Laurie for that one. It was the pass that was ordinary.
Well, these new combinations certainly haven't helped their cause, with the likes of Jackson Hastings and Luke Brooks in particular missing in the middle of the field. Oh, the forward power they're missing as well. Stefano Utukamanu, Alex Twal, James Tarmo. You could keep on going. It's quite a list they're missing in action here today. The Dragons have it back, almost at the halfway line. Here's an interesting play. Zach Lomax takes Simpkin for a ride there. But Bellin gets the handoff and will try and stay on his feet to play it quickly, which he does. Sullivan is always dangerous when he gets that chance against an unset defensive line, as they were down the left-hand side, and as a result they try and slow things down artificially, the Tigers, and give away a penalty.
Yeah, just Simpkins it was, just had the double grab there. We saw Sullivan just a nice little scoot up the short side. They take the quick tap. Now the Dragons, they want to get on with it. The play the balls have been pretty slow so far from the Dragons.
Hunt here at the line, comes to Talatau Amon. Ramsey met there by Stafford. Doing very nicely, getting up in his face and taking him to ground. DeBellin for Bird, showing it there to Blake Laurie, but he's set upon by a trio of Tigers defenders, including Simpkin. They've used up 3. Come to the right-hand side again. Amon, who is strong and got through the tackle there of a couple of defenders, including Manu Brown, before Jock Madden ended up with the ball in a one-on-one strip. Well, that was clever work by the halfback.
Yeah, looks like there was a couple of players in that tackle there for the Tigers, and there's another penalty there. Indiscretion in the play the ball. But they dropped off well to get the steal. Jock Madden it is. They've got the steal there. Hands off. It's good play from the Tigers, and they win a penalty.
You see Amon just upsetting Kapoa as he was about to plant the ball on the ground. So penalty to Tigers. They bring it back here to the 40. We'll begin with Jock Madden finding Joe Offahengawi. It was about an offload, but the call of held prevented that as he plays it now for Simpkin. See if they can get through the set without incident. Try and put the Dragons under pressure to begin with, just working it away from their own 20. Here's Dewey. To the right edge they go. A chance there with Freeban working down that right-hand side. He's playing on the right edge to Alungi on the left-hand side as they work back towards him now. They go at the back to Laurie. 3-on-2 for a moment there. Laurie, like Sullivan, can really move in broken field situations. Simpkin now jumps out from dummy half, grabbed only just. The Bellin with a try saver. Brown from dummy half. He goes to Dewey. Knocked down there and
it's a forward pass.
On. No, forward pass is the call from Adam Dewey.
Gee, they were up flat, weren't they, off Dewey there. He's at his best when he runs the ball. He can break tackles, Dewey, just shoveling the ball off like that close to the line after we saw a good run there from Simpkin. Straight through, great tackle from DeBellin, try saver. The Tigers lose possession again.
He looked certain to score, didn't he? Jake Simpkin showed some speed as well. DeBellin somehow grabbed him by the coattails. Now Amon. He'll find the try scorer, Jaden Sewer, in game number 100 of his career. 24 years of age. signed with the Dragons for a couple more seasons as well. Now a real mix-up between Ben Hunt and Josh Maguire, and the reaction from Ben Hunt told you a lot, that he is very unhappy with either the line that Josh Maguire ran or his own actions there, but they're not too pleased with themselves, are they?
Yeah, they've been playing together for a long, long time too. Together at the Broncos there for an age. Just looks like they rushed things. He should have went out the back here. Just in two minds that time, Hunt.
It looked like he was going to go out the back, but Maguire just got himself in between Hunt and his intended receiver, and in the end he thought, well, go to Maguire because he's in the way, and Maguire under no circumstances thought he was going to get the ball. So they fluffed their lines there. Now Dewey takes it back to the edge of the 20. Simpkin waits at dummy half, set restart for the Tigers as well. And now Brown, whose numbers are coming adrift. A bit like the Tigers season, 4 wins and 18 losses. Brown again, step off the left foot. Nabbed around the legs by Blake Laurie. In the first instance, Simpkin from dummy half here. They want to square at markers, so it's 6 more tackles. Pressure here on the Dragons line. Comes back Zane Musgrove, who wasn't expecting that pass. He got going quickly enough. They burn one, but they've got tackles to play with. Simpkin, short ball here for Freeban. Going to spin his way in. Playing in just game number 4 here this afternoon. Oh, and makes a mistake. Now the pattern just keeps on repeating for the Tigers. Can't get through a set. Second straight chance inside the 20, and a simple one there from the back row.
Gee, it's pretty ordinary too from both sides. There's already 7 errors in the game so far. Just got to pay attention, get up and play the ball properly. Albeit the Saints were all over him, but gee, you've got to come away with the play the ball there. Just haven't been able to build any sort of momentum, the Tigers. Every time they get in a position, they make a mistake.
The Dragons work it away. Tim Sheens, of course, the coach next season and the season beyond that for the Tigers, with Benji Marshall and Robbie Farah in tow as Lomax takes a carry. Came out during the week, Tim Sheens, Premiership winning coach in 2005 with the club, and said there'll be players will be moving on at the end of this season. So the pressure is definitely on. And they can manage to move players on who have deals through the end of 2023. But the pressure certainly being applied to the Tigers. Here they are driving to Bellin backwards, some starch in their defence in this set at least. Maguire spins away there from the tackle of Musgrove. Dewey on his own, forced to take him to ground, and the Dragons have one more play. Hunt from well inside the 40, good angle on the kick. Sits up nicely though for Naden. That was a kind bounce for him. So brings it back midfield, skips as he runs towards Hunt, who's always been a tremendous defender. And he hits Naden right around the hips and stops him cold. Good work by the Dragons, number 7.
A little bit slow to get back to the Tigers. Still 4 players not back behind the ball yet. It's a 4th tackle. A lot of walkers out there.
Here they are going to an edge and coming back to the middle. They'll find a forward for a carry. Instead, they'll put it through the hands of the outside backs, and stepping in behind Tuolungi. Kapoa will go to a knee and submit in the tackle and almost give a while. He has! Can you believe what you've just seen? Kapoa mixed up there with Tuolungi, decided he would submit in the tackle to make sure it wasn't an obstruction play, and as a result had his pocket picked by Zach Lomax.
Yeah, there's good strength shown there by Zach Lomax there. Just stripped the football. Gives the Dragons another little bit of field position here. They've looked dangerous with the ball down this end.
Hunt trying to grub it through the line. A race now with Adam Dewey. Sullivan's also there. Dewey got taken down. It's still play on. Toa toes it forward. Ramsey gets back there and saves the day. But it is going to be a penalty for the action, I think, of Cody Ramsey in the end in dragging back Stafford Toa.
Yeah, to tug at his jumper here. He's been a little bit off so far, hasn't he, Ben Hunt? With his passing game and kicking game. Dewey all going for the football here. Let's have a look. Just a tug on the back of the jumper. Yep. That's fair play.
This collision here was just that, a collision in running, and now Cody Ramsey has been sin-binned as well for a professional foul in a scoring situation. So the Dragons down to 12. They finished last week against the Titans with 12 and scored 3 unanswered tries. So maybe that's exactly what they've been playing for.
Well, if you want an opportunity now, have a look at the Tigers. 15 metres out. They want to get on with it right here. Perfect opportunity. Dragons down to 12. Let's see what they can come up with. If they don't try and go around them too early, you've got to go through them first. Just slam that door open and away they go.
It's Musgrove who gets things going for the Tigers to take it inside the 10. Simpkin waits, comes back to Dewey. Cannot believe it.
Go through Adam.
They might challenge this.
Zane Musgrove believes he didn't make the mistake that the referee saw in the play the ball, and they will challenge.
Have captains challenged? Tigers are challenging the ruling of a knock-on.
We'll just see if he gets to get up to play the ball there, Musgrove, whether there's a hand on the ball, trying to get on with it.
Just make sure they go through yours.
So Sullivan involved in the tackle here for the Dragons, and well, his hand was thereabouts, and that's what the referee
Sullivan's
saw.
hand is on the ball, just looking to see if there's any interference. He pulls his hand down, which forces the ball out. It is ruck interference. The challenge is successful.
It's a good call by the bunker, given what we saw. And it will give the Tigers another penalty here from inside 10 metres out,
Right,
and
sweet.
with the one-man
Again,
advantage.
okay?
Down 6 points to nil.
Adam, wait.
Adam Dewey will tap it.
Go.
See if they can score a rare try in this run towards the finals. They've been hard to come by for the Tigers, who have the worst attack in the Premiership coming into today. They're ranked 16th. Madden for Dewey. Dewey's outside. Can they get through a set of 6 without making a mistake? That's the first question. Another set restart. The Dragons up inside the 10. Dewey, but the offload there from Stafford Toa, and will go close to getting across the line. He'll end up almost on top of it. But he'll play it here. Simpkin waits, drops back to fire a ball to Madden. There's Brown, Laurie coming up quickly. Amon forced him back to the middle. Now Dane Laurie, for fear of an obstruction call, will just surrender in the tackle. Waste one there. Simpkin comes across to Madden, who looks to his outside. He had Freeband pushing up in support. They're still just 5 metres out. Haven't offered a lot so far in this set. Offer Hengawi, just a simple hit up by the front rower. And they've got one more play. With a cool head here from one of the key playmakers. It's Madden with the responsibility, who goes to Laurie. Gives it off to Katoa, fends away from Lomax. There's a chance back on the inside to Alungi. Flings it out the back. Madden has it. Gives it to Musgrove. Around the corner, he finds Tyrell Sloan, and the Dragons hang on to come up with possession.
Well, there's another mistake there from the Tigers. They only completed 8 sets from 14. Another error, just trying to rush things. Someone really should have taken control there in their halves in Madden and Dewey. They just couldn't end that set there.
Right pass there for Aaron Woods, the former Tiger, who's on deck now for St George Illawarra. We get downstairs to Nico.
Yeah, it's all happening, gentlemen. A frantic end to that set. Cody Ramsey sin-binned, and amongst all that, Blake Laurie went off for a HIA. Aaron Woods on the field now. We'll keep you updated as to whether or not he passes.
Thank you for that, Nico. As Simone puts it in the air, no pressure at all on Laurie, backpedaling to almost his own goal line, and now Naden on the angle. Lomax did well to stay with him. Otherwise, there were massive meters there for Brent Naden. Now a chance. Bounga gets to Sloan, gets back to his feet, wants to continue on, and then hit over the top by Maguire. That certainly finished him off, but good meters for the Tigers. And 2 plays make it 2.5. They're back on the attack. Here's Toa, runs to Bird, stands him up. Bird takes him down. What a tackle by the now fill-in fullback. The Tigers go wide. Dewey at the line. He gives it to Brown. Brown scores. Against 12 men, they find the wide open spaces. They had their first try, Blocky. In a moment, this will be 6 apiece.
And that's his 6th try of the season too, Brown. He knows how to find the line there for the Tigers. Some beautiful work there by Toa to go down that right-hand side. But what about the tackle? I think it was Bird. Somehow made the tackle one-on-one. The Tigers come to their left again. Some good ball movement. Here's a run there from Toa. Jeez, he's got good strength, hasn't he? And speed. A little bit of footwork. Tried to go the in and away on Bird. Somehow makes that tackle and hangs on. But they couldn't retreat quick enough, the Dragons. The Tigers through Dewey, eats up a couple of metres. And there's Brown on the end of that pass. And the Tigers go the length of the field to score.
He summed it up well here, Adam Dewey, because they had numbers, massive numbers to the left-hand side, but he knew with the Dragons scrambling and down a man, the immediate space was right back through the middle, and Brown is able to go in untouched. He's been a bit of a try scorer since linking up with the Tigers and returning from the 3 years out of the game. 6 tries now in 12 games. That's a pretty impressive strike rate for a hooker slasher fill-in lock forward here today.
Yeah, and he's pretty good at close range too when he's been playing in the dummy half role, as we mentioned. That's his 6th try of the season, so knew exactly what to do there. That was great play there by Dewey. Just ate up the yards. Sewer come in to make the tackle, the offload on the outside. And finally, that should give the Tigers a little bit of confidence. They've got a long way to score that try.
Inside the uprights, Adam Dewey, no mistake with the 2 points. It's 6 apiece here at Combank Stadium at Parramatta. Later tonight, it's Sunday night with Matty Johns. Joining the boys will be Sharks hardman Dale Finucane, former Storm great Robbie Kearns on deck as well. Plus the boys look back at the best of the days of the Sydney Football Stadium. Now Allianz, and about to be back in action as soon as Friday night. What an occasion that will be. The new stadium opener. Brett Kamali watching on. Sure he's enjoyed his time taking over from Michael Maguire, albeit under very trying circumstances and with the team trying to avoid the wooden spoon, but no doubt he's learned a lot. And he'll take the lessons learned from this stint as the interim coach back into his work with the pathways, and you never know. A little taste of first-grade coaching here in 2022. Might hold him in good stead down the track.
Josh Maguire giving away the penalty there, just the outside in hit, just jumped off the line, trying to make the difference. I hope it doesn't stop his coaching career down the track. His performance with the Tigers as first-grade coach in Kamali. To see him get another crack one day.
So it's been all the Tigers since the sin binning of Cody Ramsey. 6 apiece, and here are the Tigers. Taking it forward, Bolle there, out on the field now as it goes to Madden. Dewey, first man option was free. Ben, terrific tackle up in the front line, made by Ben Hunt. What a stop that was. Off ahead Gow. For Bolle, who will play it just inside the 10. Promising 20-year-old. A chance at the back end of this season. Dewey getting a chance. He offloads it. Somehow the Dragons look like they've stopped the Tigers, or have they? No. Spinning in for the first try of his career is Tom Freeban. In just the 4th game in his time in the NRL, they held up Dewey. He was able to find the back rower, and the Tigers have the lead.
Well, here's the difference here for the Tigers. When Dewey decides to weed up the yardage, just have a look at him. Gets the ball, looks up, got them on the slide, offloads. And Freeban gets over. He did well too. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 Saints defenders around him. That's good play there by Dewey, getting one-on-one. He's a big body, gets the offload. Freeban in for the Tigers. They go back-to-back.
Been a long time in coming. His first try in the NRL at 27 years of age, getting a chance in the starting side today, and that was quite the reaction as well, wasn't it? He was pumped, and why wouldn't he be? Brent Naden flying in over the top as well to celebrate a lot of seasons, last 5 or 6 playing in reserve grade at various stages. Of course, there hasn't been much action for those outside the NRL squad over the COVID years. Well, we spoke about the players who are missing today, and there's just a portion of them. Lost more again last week with Alex Seyfarth out for the rest of the season with a torn pec muscle. Luke Garner suffered a concussion last week against the Roosters as well. Might be able to return next week for the Leichhardt finale against the Raiders before he moves on to the Panthers in 2023. Dewey again from close range makes it 12 points to 6. The Tigers making hay while the sun shines here against 12 men against the Dragons. Nico.
Gentlemen, great news for the Dragons. Blake Laurie has passed his HIA and is ready to come back on. Also, the Dragons still playing a man down with 2 minutes left on that sin bin.
What a reaction once again from Tom Freeban. News coming from downstairs as well, the Tigers camp. A jersey change for Manu Brown, who started the game in 13. What's he going to wear now? 23 blocking.
Exactly, yep. He must have had a ripped jumper there at the back. His number might have got ripped off by the look of it. And they've changed him into the jumper number 23 now for the Tigers.
Okay. Oh, here's another one-on-one steal as Sewer comes up with a strip there from Fanua Bolle, and just like that, the Dragons have a chance to hit back.
Tackle one, you can't throw him off like that.
Lomax dispensing Chase Simpkin. No uncertain terms. And over the falls did Simpkin. Tyrell Fuimaono. First appearance back with the Dragons since round 12, and then
just outside 10 on the mark
He
there.
couldn't help himself there. Sullivan, quick tap. He almost went through the referee to try and score. The Tigers recovered just in time. And they stop Sullivan half a metre out. Goes from Woods to Hunt. Maguire back against the grain. Runs right into the clutches there of Bolle and also Offa Hingawi. Hunt on this right-hand side. He came up quickly. Madden stopped the pass going out to Moan and maybe Sewer beyond him. So they've used up 3. He's set for a long left-hand side now. Hunt is there again at first receiver. Woods is the option, backing his way in. Bit of a trademark of Aaron Woods throughout his career. He provides so many offloads, but not this time. Comes to Ben Hunt. Bypasses Maguire, goes to Bird. A chance on the extremity there for Sloan, who can't come up with the pass he was looking for. And the Tigers survive again, a scare inside their 20.
Well, that was good scramble there. I know they were a man down. The St George Illawarra side of the Dragons. They scored 3 tries when they were down to 12 men last week against the Titans. That's good scramble there. A little bit of desperation. That's what you want to see here from the Tigers. They tried to get that man back on the inside, but they had enough players there to force the ball in the in-goal area.
Cody Ramsey comes back to the sideline. He'll be back out there in about 10 seconds time to make it 13 on 13 once again. It's been an expensive sin binning, hasn't it, though? It's cost the Dragons in part 12 points. We've been down to the 12. He's back on deck here. They've got the full complement.
Jacob Little on there for the Tigers too. Watch him explode out of dummy half. If they get a little bit lazy around the middle of the Dragons, they'll make them pay.
So the third dummy half / hooker, if you like, to make an appearance in the game today for the Tigers. As we said right off the top, and it's an unusual 17, but forced upon Brett Kamali in the most part with all the injuries and drama they have. Manu Brown takes it across the halfway line. Little service there to Jock Madden. An end-over-end kick. No pressure at all on Ramsey, who'll be itching to get back into the action. And they'll stop him here just inside the 20.
Well, that's a little bit of better chase there from the Tigers. As the game goes on, they're starting to look like they're getting their defence right and being able to put the Dragons on the ground. It's the main part. Try and slow that, play the ball down. I know how potent some of their players, the Dragons, have got.
Laurie will play it here. Comes back to Hunt. A kick from inside the 40. Good punching kick. Difficult one to stop until it took an awful bounce for the Dragons. With a loft break right at the sideline, and Pound was able to come up with it and link up with Dane Laurie, who bounces away from Ben Hunt. He's been just out of luck, Hunt, on a couple of very good kicks inside the Tigers 20 so far today.
Just want to get him in that little bit of broken field running there. We know how dangerous Dane Laurie is.
Tigers to bring it back. Almost at the halfway line. They lead by 6. 10 minutes out from the break. Stop here managed by Amon and also Sullivan. Dewey takes it to the line. Flat pass there for Offa Hingawi. Put him under a little bit of pressure with Maguire getting up quickly in his face. With old Broncos coming to grips there as comes back to Dewey. Tries to strike the belly of the ball. Didn't quite get it as he would like, but almost a mix-up between Ramsey and Moga. Ramsey used the speed that he possesses. And he brings it back here to play just inside the 20.
Yeah, it didn't look like there was much of a call there. Ramsey and Moga nearly colliding to take that ball. And off he goes. Just gets in the stride so quickly, doesn't he, Ramsey? An elusive player I mentioned a little bit earlier. Need to get him in some free space.
Jaden Sewer takes it up towards the 40 and just beyond. Let's take some numbers on the left-hand side here, the Dragons, so no surprise that's where they're going. Fumayono, though, to catch them out through the middle, the Tigers, and they stop there by little. Hunt it is. Comes away down to Laurie underneath him. Bird was coming through and took Laurie in the air.
Jack!
Take me off the kick, mate.
We get March 10 as well. Apologies for the Frank Laming to Jack Hughes. It's a bit like that though on a warm August afternoon. Your team's down by 6 and you're trying to create something for your team. Oh, now he's been sent to the sin bin. March 10 metres for the descent to the referee and then sent to the sin bin. The Dragons down to 12 again.
Well, he must have kept going on the way back and get himself back in that defensive line. Already give away the 10 metres and the penalty for back chat. Must have kept going.
Must have been some long range back chat as well because he was some metres on the referee. But can you believe the Dragons for the second time in this first half down to 12? Watch it again. There's contact there. There's really nothing in the contact, but you can't touch them while they're in the air. And then having had a couple of chirps, Jack Bird will watch on for the remainder of the first half and then a couple of minutes into the second half as well. The Tigers last time they were in this situation scored 12 points. What an opportunity this is here as Laurie comes down the short side, spins away from Ramsey initially before he gets some help back on the inside from Sewer, and they'll play it inside the 20. Tigers looking for just their 5th win this season. Trying to avoid the wooden spoon in that battle to avoid it with the Gold Coast Titans. They play it there through Diaz on field now. Comes through Offa Hingawi. Numbers here, Laurie goes to Kapoa. Lomax holds him up. Ball comes away from Laurie, not knocked on. Play on's the call. Naden charging. Run straight and hard. Took a power of stopping as well. Grabbed eventually by Sullivan in the main. Little, they came up quickly. Hunt, an all-or-nothing defensive play. They're in again, and Tom Freeman has a double. The Dragons imploding. The Tigers exploding by their standards in points. It's 16-6.
Well, they kept calm that time too, didn't they? Freeman comes away with his second try. It's Ben Hunt, the captain of the Dragons, tries to come up out of the line. Here's the sin bin. Just takes him in the air. Obviously thinks he might have had his feet on the ground. A couple of harsh words to the referee. Bird gets sin bin. But look at Hunt coming up out of the line. They're done for numbers. Madden shows nice calmness. Just eats up the yards there. The catch and pass on the outside there to Freeman. And he can't believe his luck. The Tigers are in again.
Well, it was 5 on 3, and Hunt said, well, I'll just roll the dice here and see if I can race up and force a mistake or make a stop on the Tigers. But Freeman having the day of his rugby league life right here. They swamp him.
He's going for a hat-trick now.
He's every chance if the Dragons keep getting players sent to the sin bin. The Tigers might put on a score line themselves. Well summed up again on that right-hand side by Wes. Making the most of these advantages. They've scored now 16 points. It might be 18 in a moment. when they've had the one-man advantage. Something they haven't been good at in recent times when they've had the extra man in games we've seen the past couple of seasons. Today at least, capitalising, and Dewey here 10 metres in from the eastern touchline to make this a 12-point difference. And still with a stack of time on the clock while they have this one-man advantage. Strike is good. It hits the upright though and stays out. It'll be 10 the difference here with 5 minutes remaining in this first half. The Tigers 16, the Dragons 6, Nico.
His first time in the starting side. It's been a roller coaster a few weeks for Tom Freeman, experiencing the highs of making his debut a few weeks ago and then the lows of a big defeat. He actually spoke midweek about mental health after a loss like that to the Roosters and said the fact he's come into the professional game a bit older than most, he knows the importance of being able to separate life from the emotions of rugby league. So he's got a good head on his shoulders, Tom Freeman.
And the one-time Dapto Canary loving it here against his old club. He spent some time with the Dragons coming through the system back in 2014 and 2015. And now well, this one was played at by the Dragons. I thought this should be a captain's challenge once again. The Tigers are 1 from 1 and on the advice, forget the challenge. Sideline official saying, yep, there was no doubt there that was knocked away from the Tigers.
You already got a couple of one-on-one steals in this game. The Dragons just trying to get to his feet. It's knocked out there by Lomax. He's got his right arm around and knocked the football out. So that's a fair penalty. Own worst enemies in the first half, the Dragons. A couple of sin bins, a couple of cheap penalties early in the tackle count. Here comes the Tigers.
A good carry to get things going. The big rangy Austin Diaz playing just the 6th game of his NRL career. Another late bloomer, 24 years of age. Little from dummy half. The Tigers have been impressive when they've had this one-man advantage. Scored 3 tries already in the 2 separate stints. Now Dewey finds Laurie. Amon under pressure there. Laurie gets away with him. The Tigers are short odds to score another one. Head fake from Little. Madden handed off for Diaz, who will take it towards the 10, just inside it. They're set to the right-hand side. Madden's there. Dewey's out the back through the middle. Off a Hengawi, tripping over, it looks like, Jaden Sullivan's leg. Now a deep ball. Madden, short one. Laurie's there. He gets across the line. Can he get it down? We need to take a look.
Well, the referee was right on the spot there.
I have no try. Just
got
confirm
no
the ball
try.
doesn't hit to the ground at the back.
I think he's held up here. The referee was in perfect position. The rule on that went straight to the replay. Ramsey that comes in over the top. He's held up there and he just gets twisted over.
Boy, part of the ball must have been very close
There's no
to
grounding
touching
on this
the
angle.
turf.
We're going to check alternate angles.
See there. What's the point of the ball?
The Dragons' hands under the ball.
He's held
Ball remains up at this stage.
Couldn't definitively say that he scored, so this will stay as a no try held up. The on-field decision.
There's been a couple of real desperate tackles here in the first
tackle is
half by the
complete. We have a
Dragons, just
decision.
hanging on. One was from Lomax, and one was from DeBellin, and then this one.
So it's held up. 6 tackles, hand over up here. Hand over, 6 tackles, held up.
That was the last, so the Dragons hang on there. Dane Laurie can't believe it. He thought he might have scored. The Dragons still have another 5 minutes and some seconds remaining with 12 men. That will be split either side of half-time with only 3:25 remaining in this first half. As Laurie plays it there, now Tui Mayono. It's been quite the slump at the end of the season from the Dragons, quite obviously, despite the win last week against the Gold Coast Titans. But they've fallen on their own sword twice here today. Ramsey's into the sin bin. I understand that professional foul, but Bird being sent That's poor discipline by the Dragons. And for the moment they get a penalty. Work it away here. Hunt will try and take them on the attack for the first time in what seems a long time. Been a mountain of possession going the way of the Tigers.
Guys, it's a play the ball back
It's
here.
the Ramsey sin bin in their first try.
Zero tackle, it's not a penalty. Back here.
Now the referee gives a penalty.
That's where the play the ball is, Joe Marker.
And they kick the ball downfield 40 metres, and
That's a
then
zero tackle, back here, back here.
they call back for a zero tackle for a turnover.
An administration error by the referee, with the play happening just outside the 40, because once we cross the 40 we go from penalties to set restarts, and he just missed his mark there, so it comes back. The Dragons work with his right hand side. Lomax trying to clean it up and stay in the field of play. He manages to do that, but they're out near the sideline. I think the set started once again. Silva takes it forward and tries to get them a little bit of momentum. Midway through the set of 6, Maguire from dummy half. Spent a bit of time there last week against the Titans, and now Ramsey stepping back on the inside here. Met that by Diaz inside the Tigers 30. Maguire out of dummy half. Look at this from the veteran. He might show a bit of that next year at Warrington. Signed for 2 years to play in the Super League. Amon grubbering off Madden, played at, and will be 6 more tackles for St George Illawarra. Lomax from dummy half. He comes back here to Jackson Ford. He charges hard. Denied there by a number of Tigers, including Little. And also Freeburn. Here's Hunt showing, stepping left off the right. What work by Ben Hunt. He almost put Ramsey in. That was tremendous dancing by the halfback. He'll play it for Maguire from dummy half. There's nothing doing there, given the play the ball happened on top of the line, but the strength of him steps through a Diaz tackle and was visions of planning it down himself for a 4-pointer. They're still with 12 men. Hunt goes wide. Sloan steps away from the sideline. They'll hold him up. Boy, it was desperate, though, for the Tigers.
You've done that a couple of times over there on that right-hand defence. Just got numbers there again, the Tigers. You talk about a side playing you back into form. The players sent to the sin bin in the first half for the Saints. Looks like they thought it was just going to happen for them. Unfortunately, the Tigers have got other things in mind.
Now Ben Hunt, a kick across the face. The power is there, so is Lomax. And we know what a leaper he is. Play on here for the Tigers at the moment, and Dewey brings it back into the field of play. There'll be play on for the Tigers. Good work by the 5'8". After the ball hits the ground, he gets up a couple of times now. He's looked a bit the worse for wear after some contact. Adam Dewey. The Tigers out of the outside backs to work it away. Junior Pounger coming in, takes a carry. Little jumps out of dummy half, following suit. Pokes his nose through the line. The ball knocked down, though, by the Dragons and backwards. It's Ford who comes up with it. And they'll get one play here, potentially, before the siren sounds. They will. It comes back to Amon. Hunt hears the siren now. The kick across field, knocked down by the Tigers. Goes back to Ramsey. Here's Sewer. 2-on-2. He finds Moga with a flick pass back on the inside, and Dewey takes it out of play. Everything to look at here and a bit to talk about after the first 40 minutes, but at the break, it's the Tigers 16, the Dragons 6. Is about to return to the playing field. He had his issues with Josh Maguire at one stage during that first half blocker, and we'll see how the combination that left edge works for them in the second half, with Maguire playing as an edge back rower at the back end of 2022, a role he hasn't filled all that much throughout his career. He's always been a middle forward, and as sometimes a dummy half, as he has been filling in recent times for the Dragons while they have injuries in the number 9 position. Adam Dewey, on the other hand, bouncing back from a below par performance last week against the Roosters. He had some defensive misses against Drew Hutchison in particular in that 70-point thrashing at the hands of the Roosters, but he's bounced back well today.
Yeah, I think he's the secret to the Tigers' attack, albeit that the Dragons have been down a player a couple of times in that first half. Dewey, 8 runs. Love it when he runs the ball 71 metres in the first half. He's a man that can get the Tigers home here this afternoon.
So Jack Bird still has the best part of 90 seconds remaining before he can return to action. Moses Mbai in the hoodie there watching on in the Dragons dressing room as well. Unavailable through suspension. As the Dragons work it away here, Blake Laurie to take it forward. And they'll play it at their own 20 as Maguire, who is still there at dummy half, looks after things. Is take a carry here. And Moga off that right wing. Scored the hat-trick last week, first of his career against the Gold Coast Titans. Ramsey playing it for Maguire. Comes to forward on this left-hand side of the field. And they're taking it back into Tigers territory. Good meters. Off the restart here for the Dragons. Hunt. Blake Laurie runs hard there at Liddell underneath. And also Offahengawi over the top as Hunt puts it in the air. Coming forward, long run here for Dane Laurie, who didn't get there. Lomax did. Fell for Maguire, and now Ramsey. He finds Mogan, nothing doing there, so he comes back to Jaden Sewer. Second kick, not a bad one either. Pressure here on Pounga, beats 1, can't beat 2 nor 3. What a result for the Dragons.
Well, they chased hard on the kick. I didn't think it was the best of kicks there from Sewer, but they made it look good by the chase there to start the second half. Maguire in the dummy half, as we mentioned a little bit earlier. Don't know whether the service is going to be that good, but they finished that one well. It's a good chase from the Dragons. Bird
Jack
back
Bird,
on the field.
He is back, yes, to make it 13 on 13. The Tigers paying the price for not getting anybody there to catch the bomb. Nobody got to it. Laurie was very deep and came down short of him. Might cost them points here as Laurie brings it back. They begin inside the West 40. Couple gone in this second half. Bird returns here to play some dummy half with Jaden Sullivan off the field at the moment. It looks as though he's going to take over the dummy half duties while Maguire returns to the left edge. Hunt goes out the back. Moan putting a right foot step on. Stopped there by Kelma Tuolungi. Back inside the 20. 6 again here though. The restart. Tigers transgressing and Laurie will play it 10 metres out. Bird for a moan. It's Hunt. Shows it back on the inside for Maguire. Comes out to this left-hand side where Fionney, wearing 2, playing at left centre with Sloan on his outside, is stopped there handily by the Tigers. Maguire, shuffling run. Nothing doing as he is stopped by Offahengawi. Now from dummy half, Bird takes a dip himself. And we're waiting for him, and now another set restart given up by the Tigers. Slow old play the ball. Bird eventually got there as Hunt hands it off to Laurie. And another set restart. Well, that's 3 or 4 in a row, and surely somebody has to go to the sin bin. Here's a moan. Gives it off to Jaden Sewer. Scored their only try of the game. Ramsey quickly. Lomax, they've scored in the corner. Moga it is. He picks up from where he left off last week. He has a try here to close this gap in a moment. It might be just for the difference.
A little bit too much to ask there for the Tigers. 3 repeat sets there. And a good sleight of hand there from Lomax to get it on the outside to Moga. He's starting up to set up a pretty good combination here. Look at the no-look pass. Moga, 3 tries last week, gets another one today. I suppose the biggest problem for the Dragons in the first half, they scored after 6 minutes and then thought it was all going to happen. Looks like the same sort of thing has happened here to start the second half. The Dragons get one back.
He's the fan of the flick pass. The no-look pass is Zach Lomax. There's been some not so good ones during the course of this season. That one, though, was a beauty and found Tau Moga, who was able to score pretty comfortably in the corner for the Dragons. At 16-10, Lomax, who converted the first try, scored by Jaden Sewer in the opening minutes of the game. Tough one from the right touchline. Moga, what a story he is, of course. We took you through it last week, all the knee reconstructions and all the clubs he's played for. And he's travelled around the NRL, cursed with bad luck throughout his career, but getting a chance at the back end of 2022 with the Dragons and certainly making the most of it. The boos ring out from the Tigers fans. A portion of some Illawarra fans here today. 25 metres back. Lomax strikes it well enough, but always away to the left-hand side. Still, it stays a converted try, the difference. At 16 points to 10, we go downstairs for a halftime report from Nico Pajarillo.
Yeah, great effort there from Tautau Moga. 6 tries in 4 games. He's been through hell with injury in recent years. Great to see him fit and firing. In fact, it's his highest tally of tries and also his highest tally of games, in fact, since 2017 when he was playing for the Broncos all those years ago. And his coach would certainly be happy with that. Anthony Griffin said at halftime he wanted his team to start again and rebuild momentum in this match, and his team has certainly obliged with some early pressure here in the second half.
So all those set restarts had to tell eventually on the Tigers. It must have tested the referee's patience. Must have been surely just one away from blowing the whistle and sending somebody to the sin bin. He played the advantage. Dragons scored. Moga playing it there as Lomax is picked off from dummy half by Jacob Little. Bird with the honours. Comes across here to Jackson Ford. Talking about Tigers missing so many players through injury and suspension. Same story for the Dragons. Pass goes to ground. Sewer cleans up, comes back to the middle, does some dancing across the halfway line before he's stopped there by Fanuabole. Back to Hunt on the last. Here's Laurie again, late in getting there, so he had to jump a long way from the ball, and luckily for him, Lomax got a touch and knocked the ball forward. But if Dane Laurie keeps giving Zach Lomax the early advantage on those jumps, they'll pay a price, the Tigers.
Yeah, and like you see him get a little bit of early ball too in attack. Lomax, he shows his class. Wonderful under the high ball too, but that's their danger side, the right-hand side. They need to go there a bit more often.
He does play very deep, does Dane Laurie, and those bombs coming down short of him. Get him in trouble twice now, and oh boy, Jacob Little here got an offload from Joe Offahengawi. And the Tigers picking up from where they left off as far as their opening forays in the first 10 minutes of the first half. Their handling was poor to begin the game. They got going when they were playing against 12 on 2 separate occasions, but here they are to begin the second half, and put a couple of balls down now and got themselves under pressure once again.
Well, it's got to be a concentration thing there. The little offload there from Offahengawi. And Little just trying to shift the ball straight away when he caught it, but you talk about offering the opposition field position after they were behind by 16-6 at half-time. Right back in it now.
Off the scrum win, it's Lomax who will play it just outside the 20. Bird. Comes back there for Laurie. Hunt. He'll find forward. Maguire goes towards Adam Dewey. In trouble there, Dewey, to get himself squarely in front of Josh Maguire, and then Toto coming across here, and also Freeban to slow play the ball to Bellin. Goes to Little. Very simple stuff by the Dragons. Haven't offered a lot so far in this particular set. They've used up 3. Bird comes back to the left-hand side. Amone shows it to Maguire, but just takes them on himself. Nobody really in motion. No change of angle. It's all been very much meat and potatoes stuff from the Dragons. The Bellin. Hunt. Here's Ramsey. Just hands again. It might be enough though. Moga stepping away from the sideline. Comes back in field. Lomax staying alive with it. Is stopped there 10 metres out. He wants a penalty, or at least a set restart. The referee disagrees. From Bird, it goes to Hunt. He bombs towards the corner. It's a challenge there between Fiane and also Pauga. The ball beats everybody touching goal, and the Tigers will have it from their 20.
Gee, that was a slow set of 6 there from the Dragons. Not really fighting to play the ball, to get up and play it as quick as they can. A crossfield kick again from Hunt. He's been a little bit off here this afternoon. He's had a wonderful season. And that ball goes into touch. The Tigers get the restart.
Roll out now. Onside again, Jamie. Wait for me. Wait. Go.
Volley here for the Tigers. Bring it back towards the halfway line. Don't forget the Titans and the Knights beyond this. The second game on the Sunday ticket today on Fox League. That one from Cbus Super Stadium. Set restart here for Wes. As Tuolungi will play at 35 out on the Dragons line. See if they can hit back, having given up points to the Dragons in this second half. Only to play it here. Good stop there by DeBellin and also Maguire. Brown using some footwork. Maguire did well to stop him back through the middle. He'll play it quickly though. From Little it goes, Madden to Laurie. Cut out ball. Intercepted here by Telstra Moga. Nobody in front of him. Naden trying to close. Dewey coming across the field will get there. He has an attempt to tackle and takes him into touch. A try saver by Adam Dewey.
Gee, he had to get on his bike too. It was a long run and a chase there for Dewey. Moga get around to about the halfway line. Here's the intercept. Looked like he was jogging on the spot here. And he's sucking in the big ones. Dewey comes from nowhere. Naden behind, chasing too. And that is a great tackle there. Showed a fair bit of commitment to get himself into that position, Dewey. And what a try saver.
Boy, he was short odds as he crossed the halfway line. Tau Moga looked like a try scorer for all the money in the world, but he was on the treadmill, wasn't he? Over that last 20 or so, was Dewey was able to wind him down and take him into touch. Terrific effort by Adam Dewey.
Well, that's the sort of stuff that the Tigers fans want to see. Just that desperation to get yourself in a position to make the tackle. Well done to Dewey.
What a key play that was. Would have been 16 all off the back of that. Instead, the Tigers hang on to this 6-point lead. And Offa Hengawi here bringing it back towards the halfway line. Little will find Madden, who punches it through the line from outside the 40 though, coming across. Ramsey under no pressure either way, but keeps the ball in play. And he'll return it here just beyond the Dragons 20. Looking ahead, Blocky, to next weekend, and of course the race for that final spot in the top 8. We were down in Canberra yesterday where the Raiders assumed 8th position, putting the Broncos on the outside looking in for the moment. These two teams will be the two key teams in helping to decide who takes that 8th and final place between the Raiders and the Broncos. The Tigers, they have the Raiders next Sunday at Leichhardt, 4 p.m. The final game of the minor premiership. The Dragons, the night before at 5:30 at Cogra, will take on the Brisbane Broncos. So that one will set the table, and the Raiders will know exactly what they have to do by the time they arrive at Leichhardt 24 hours later. It'll be a fascinating weekend. What a kick this is from Ben Hunt. Absolutely no spin on that at all. And nobody wanted to touch that from the Tigers, so they happily watch it go into touch. And they'll begin with they'll play the ball back at their own 20.
I think Ben Hunt's coming over to give his teammates a little bit of advice there. When the ball goes up, you've got to at least compete for it. There's 3 players around the ball there, 2 from the Dragons, 1 from the Tigers, just allowed it to bounce. And he comes straight over and give it to his teammates.
Just harking back to that clash at Leichhardt, the Raiders will quite obviously start very warm favourites in that game. But the Dragons versus the Broncos, I'm not a bookmaker. I'd hate to be setting a price for that one, given what we've seen from both teams in recent times. Of course, the Dragons, a win last week against the Gold Coast Titans, but that'll be a tough one. Gamble responsibly is all I'll suggest. Here is Brown, who will play at 40 metres out from the Dragons line. Little goes back to Dewey, taken down there by Jack Bird. No call from the referee as far as the contact. He was happy that it was in the motion of kicking, and Ramsey it is. They will play it here for the Dragons just outside their own 10.
I think he felt a little bit nervous in Jack Bird. He looked over to the referee. He was lucky that the Saints got the call that time.
Lomax just outside the 30. 14 gone in this second half. A long try-scoring play so far. Dragons coming up the points through Moga. Here is Fionney. Brings it back to the halfway line where Dewey stops him. Hunt from dummy half. Looks left, goes right, back to the open side where Maguire links up with him. And they have one more here. Bird at dummy half. We'll give it to Hunt. And the kick out towards the wing of Brent Naden. Lomax is there again. Good contest between the two big, rangy outside backs. And then Zach Lomax. An extravagant takedown there of Brent Naden. Tigers weren't too happy about that. The referee was okay with the contact, though.
It's a good take there by Naden. Under all sorts of pressure. We know how good he is under the high ball, Zach Lomax. And I thought the second grab there as he hit the ground, maybe a little bit unfortunate not to get a penalty, the Tigers.
Little jumping out from dummy half. Going for a couple of scoots now, Jacob Little. He's timed them well. Laurie unlikewise here, though. Replicating what Little had just done and was rendered up pretty comfortably there by Ford, who put some pressure on Madden. Kicks across his body. It'll go down to Tautau Moga. He's got Ramsey looming up on the outside in support there. But the winger will just take the tackle himself. Good start, though, for the Dragons to begin here at their own 40.
It looks like you might be down and out a little bit there, Moga, with that return after a long-range sprint downfield. Hands on hips at the moment, just dawdled into the defensive line. Got some good field position now. They've got a lot of ball of late now, the Dragons. See what they can come away with.
Ramon turns it back on the inside for Jaden Sewer. Back to Ramon. Step in traffic, staying alive. An alarming amount of offloads in a short space of time for the Tigers, but they hang on there. And now DeBella. Punch it forward. Here's Hunt. Oh boy, and he got that pass on the outside to Fionney pushing up in support. There was a real chance for the Dragons. Instead, he hung on to it, Ben Hunt. They'll play it there through Sloan. Here's Hunt. Bomb away once again. Lomax is the target. He'll go up against everybody and comes down with it. Kapoa couldn't clean it up. Lomax had a juggle, but he secured it before the ball hit the turf. And that's the ever-present danger that Zach Lomax presents.
Yeah, I think we get a little bit used to it too, don't we? Lomax taking those sort of high balls there from the crossfield kick from Hunt. And how he controlled that, I'll never know. He threw the right arm out and just somehow just clawed it in here. That's just some sort of take, isn't it? Look at that. Great awareness there from Lomax. And that's the danger side. They're potent on the right-hand side.
I think we may well have a bunker intervention. Touch here from Lomax into the right hand of Kapoa. It looks like he's touched the ball and then it touches the hand of Kapoa, which would constitute a knock-on.
All right, we need to review if there's a knock-on from Zach Lomax.
Well, as he's hit the ball, if it's gone into the West Tigers player there, it is a knock-on.
To the Dragons kick chase leading up to this. It's a clean run for Zach Lomax. Just looking at the right hand. Comes off the right hand of Zach Lomax, which then touches Asu Kapoa. This constitutes a knock-on. We have a decision.
It's unfortunate, isn't it? That was spectacular there from Lomax. But that's the rule. It's a knock-on.
It's going to be a play the ball here, boys.
That it will, so it stays at 16 points to 10. Wind the clock back. Tigers remain in front by 6. He's the equal of any high ball specialist, isn't he, in the competition? He's as good as anybody in leaping for those bombs.
And it's so good, the timing, just the way that he arrives right on the spot. I'm going to give credit to the kicking game of Hunt. He's just got that great awareness to get himself in that position there, Lomax.
So we've still got 23 minutes remaining. Tigers hanging on to the 16 to 10 lead. More points coming against 12 men, while Ramsey initially, and then Bird in 2 separate stints in the sin bin. And the Dragons under pressure from Brown to Madden. Here is Tuolungi. We'll head to the Northern Beaches in 2023. He'll be a Sea Eagle. And now, out of dummy half, Simpkin is back on deck. Rattled there for his trouble by Blake Laurie, but to his credit, he bounces back to his feet and plays it. No pressure here on Dewey. Here's a bomb. This is Matt Burton-like. Good catch made by Cody Ramsey. Tigers couldn't get down there because the travel on the ball was massive from Adam Dewey. What a strike that was.
Yeah, the other thing too, it was a bomb from about 45 out, so it went high. Didn't give the chance of the Tigers to race down. Ramsey did well to take that ball.
There's Lomax again with a shot of Kilmer Tuolungi initially. Strong Zach Lomax. He picked up Zane Musgrove there and almost threw him across his own shoulder while he was trying to fend off other defenders.
A little bit of a shame that the Tigers are going to lose Tuolungi. I think he's got a fair bit of ability, just pokes his nose through.
Ben Hunt under pressure there. Dewey getting up in his face and forcing a mistake. They had a shift in mind from inside their own territory. Dewey read that very well.
Well, they've done well here this Arvo. They haven't waited for the Saints to come to them. Here's a perfect example of it. Dewey just up in the face of Hunt. Another mistake there from the Dragons. Any errors in this game so far? Jeez. Stop-start affair.
Well, Ben Hunt and no doubt Anthony Griffin just concerned how slow the ball was in getting to Ben Hunt, given the numbers they had on the left-hand side. And Dewey was just holding his spacing in the line, and when a decoy runner went through, it was a slow ball to Hunt. He said, I'll have a piece of that. And now the ball has been passed forward by the Tigers.
Where do you want it?
And that's 0 tackle too, isn't it, from the scrum base?
Off the back of the changeover of possession, they force the mistake through the good defensive work of Dewey and give it straight back to the Dragons. I guess that's why they're in 16th with only 4 wins so far this year. The pass from Simpkin to Dewey was the one in question. You saw the outstretched arms from the likes of Blake Laurie and Jaden Sewer. They were confident there was a forward pass from the back of the scrum. The sideline official agreed.
Yeah, the touchy, he's the one that called it.
Blake, put your head in. Ball in, don't hold anyone. Break. That's it, mate.
A sigh of relief for Ben Hunt and also Anthony Griffin, whose futures were linked as far as Ben Hunt coming off contract at the end of 2023. And the story coming out of, one story at least, coming out of the Dragons camp was that Ben Hunt wanted to tie his time with the Dragons to Anthony Griffin, and should the coach be moved on, that would also free up Ben Hunt. Can't imagine the Dragons hierarchy agreeing to those kind of terms. We'll wait and see what happens with Hunt, who will be off contract, of course, at the end of next year, but able to be signed by a club beyond the 1st of November. Here's Bird. His pass goes to ground. Touched by a Tiger, so far Manu Brown didn't play at the ball. He comes back to Ramsey here. Puts a left foot step on, goes again. Look out if he finds a bit of open space. Tuolungi slams the door on him. Good tackle by the back rower. He might have stunned the fullback as well, de Bellin. Tries to find some space in behind the markers. Good work again by Tuolungi. From Sullivan, Amone, now Hunt. Plays in motion. Maguire was one of them. Not the most agile left edge back rower you've seen, and filling a gap for the Dragons at the moment. Tarek Sims, of course, suspended the remainder of the season. Bird staying alive. Comes back to Hunt. Here's Laurie. Take it inside the 10. Still got tackles up their sleeve. 3 of them, in fact, for the Dragons. Sullivan for de Bellin. Here's Hunt. Madden came up quickly. Amone hands it off to Ramsey. Good tackle there once again on that left edge. Tuolungi snapping the legs of the fullback. Still under pressure here. Cleaned up from dummy half. Comes back to Bird. Nothing doing there. Fends away from Musgrove. He's so strong in the upper body, Jack Bird. And he kicks for Zach Lomax. Now he's got his try. It was just the work of Jack Bird, staying alive, nothing doing, but beats a forward in the middle of the defensive line and just puts it on the toe for Lomax.
He's got an amazing ability to bounce out of tackles here. He does it all season. Not the biggest of blokes, Jack Bird, but he can bounce out of tackles. If you try and take him high, he's pretty solid up the top there. Gets his arms and forearms up and just bounces out. Look, boom, straight out, presence of mind. And that's great timing there from Lomax again. And brilliant play there from Bird. The little grubber kick in and behind, he's called it. And look at the bounce. Straight up for Lomax. Back-to-back tries of the Dragons.
The night only minutes ago, the knock on the bomb contest with Asu Kapoa. No debating this one. He beats Kapoa to the punch on a ball on the ground this time. With a finger to the lips for the Tigers fans at the northern end of CommBank Stadium. And with his own kicking prowess, he has the chance here to convert the try and make it 16 apiece. There's 17 remaining.
It took one of their gun players to get him right back into the game too in Jack Bird. So elusive and powerful up top, bouncing out of tackles. And in the presence of mind to put the grubber kick in and behind, perfectly timed. And Lomax scores.
And the Tigers have put down a number of possessions in their second half. The most recent, of course, was the pass forward off the back of the scrum. They were about to go on the attack instead. They give up points, and then Lomax adds 2 more here for the Dragons. Nico, it's 16 apiece.
Yeah, beautiful touch there from Jack Bird. He's had a mixed bag today, has Jack, coming off the best performance of his season last week, 2 tries and an assist as well. I spoke to Jack after the game and he told me while it was upsetting to realise they weren't going to make the finals, the win against the Titans was the first box ticked and finishing 2022 on a high, which is all the Dragons can do to close out this season, Warren.
Yep, they can play the spoilers again next week against the Brisbane Broncos, potentially. That game at home, they'll finish at Congra. 5:30 on Super Saturday. You'll see that one, which will set the table for that battle for 8th position. And given the now difference in for and against between the Raiders and the Broncos, given the difference in scores between those two teams over the course of the weekend, the Raiders winning comfortably against the Seagulls. Big scoreline down there yesterday, and the Broncos getting thrashed on Thursday night. The Broncos will more than likely have to win, and maybe win by a margin as well. It is Sewer. Takes it back here for the Dragons. They're locked up at CommBank. 16 all, 16 on the clock, and now Bird takes it to the halfway line, and there he is again, just bumping off defenders, picks up another 15 metres plus and puts him in a great position here to put up another attacking kick for Lomax, should they want. That's what they do. Hunt for Lomax again. He's there. It goes backwards off the Tigers. In fact, it was touched by a Dragon. Lomax got a hand on this one again, and the Tigers breathe a massive sigh of relief.
Well, the tough thing for the Tigers is every time they look up, there's 80 metres to go. You get up the other end of the field. The bulk of the football in the second half, the Saints scored back-to-back tries. It's all about field position. The Tigers need a couple of repeat sets to get down there. And then for the Saints to make an error, they are doing it tough to get into their 20.
Let's see if the Tigers can work it away without incident here from their own 20s. Powell plays it. Simpkin now from dummy half. Good meters there. No markers for the Dragons. That's poor defensive work by them. The Tigers working it away on a yardage set. Brown finds Musgrove. Good carry. Links up here with Madden. Who's away? Brown looming up in support. Madden goes straight past Ramsey. What a try by Jock Madden. He beats 2 or 3 Dragons, including Ramsey in the last line. He does it all himself. A solo run to put the Tigers back on top.
That's a wonderful effort there from Jock Madden. Not normally the halfback for the Tigers. Bit of a bits of player, brought in and out. And just backs himself. Look at this, one-handed offload straight through Madden. Shows great speed, beats de Belin. Look at the footwork too. At the end of it, and then takes off again. Lomax can't come at him. And that is a brilliant individual try from a halfback, just sniffing around the big forwards. Look at the footwork here. Ramsey throws out an arm. Lomax can't go with him. Madden scores the first try of the Tigers. in the second half.
The Dragons will look back and see that the offload from Musgrove that puts Madden on the front foot and allows him to beat defenders, but their work earlier in the set with the Tigers coming out of their own 20 left a lot to be desired. Simpkin took a run from dummy half and there was nobody at marker, with the Tigers still working it away inside their own 30, and that's hard to believe. Yeah, the Tigers some real momentum in the set of 6, and then Musgrove puts Madden away, and boy, didn't you do well to beat Cody Ramsey in particular.
He showed good footwork too, didn't he? Just bamboozled Ramsey. It's always tough coming out off that line at fullback, and such an elusive type player with the footwork of Madden. He did well. And then he took off again to score. It's a good time to score there for the Tigers too. 13.5 to go. Got themselves back in front.
Good time to score from Madden as well. Off contract at the moment. His future up in the air, of course. Luke Brooks out of action with his calf muscle problem. May be able to return next week. He'll be hoping to get back on deck. Otherwise, Madden will have the 7 jersey again next week, and then we'll see what the Tigers do beyond the end of their season. Dewey bringing it back, bends it over the black dot. It's a converted try, the difference once again. There is Luke Brooks watching on with Garner and Seyfarth and all the Tigers who are missing in action today. Musgrove in the tackle there, one-on-one with Jaden Sewer. Lovely offload, and then great speed from Madden to beat Lomax, and also to Bellin. Ran to Ramsey. He had support there in Brown if he needed him, but he said, Farmanu, take a seat. I've got this one covered. Coming up beyond full-time here at CommBank, we'll take you north to Seabus Super Stadium up there on the Gold Coast. It'll be the Titans versus the Knights. The players off contract and the players playing for their futures in both of those two teams.
Well, they've been under the pump in the second half, haven't they, the Tigers? Maybe that try from Madden, give them that little bit of a lift that they need. See the excitement in this set. See if they can get the end of it with a good kick on the end of it.
Two-try hero is Tom Freeban, who played it just outside the 30, and not the first time today he's done that. Just trying to play it too quickly. On the contact here as well. See him getting up and then just losing the grip, and gives the Dragons a chance to come straight back at them.
Been a little bit of experience there from Josh Maguire, really crowding the play the ball. Just put his knee on the ball there, got away with it.
There's nobody who uses more gamesmanship in and around the play the ball in the NRL than Josh Maguire. He's the king at it. That was the fact there or not. He had a bit of a smile on his face. Lomax off the handoff here from Jack Bird. The Dragons to begin. 30 out from the Tigers line. Still 12 remaining, so a stack of time for the Dragons to hit back and eventually take this one, should they be good enough, as Ford backs his way inside the 20. They're set right on this left edge. Hunt is there. He finds Jack Bird. Ramsey now, Fignay on his outside. They'll take the tackle. Through the fullback, 10 metres out from the Tigers line. Now to Bellin. Not much happening. He lost his way. In fact, he has another look again. 2 or 3 times, Ben Hunt saying, just take it towards the post. Don't look at me. Just go in that direction. Eventually he's tackled. Short ball there from Sullivan for Ford. Tigers through Laurie and company. Stop him. Close range. Last play. Hunt. He goes short. Sewer is there. Keeps it alive. A touch by Tuolungi. Great work again by guess who? Jack Bird, who comes up with possession.
They're just sniffing in and around the ball. 0 tackle now. This is the game right here for the Tigers. Hang on defensively on their goal line.
Sullivan looks up, and then Madden came up very quickly. They go over the top. Moga was there. Couldn't beat the tackle though. Brent Naden, great defence by Naden on the left edge for the Tigers. Goes back to Hunt. Now Bird will show it off to Ford. Staying alive, Bird's there again. He's everywhere at the moment. Here's a stepping run by Jaden Hunt, fresh on the field. In that lily white uniform, he stands out in the crowd. He'll play it here. Sullivan comes back to DeBellin. Hunt back on the inside, showing it to Bird. The halfback hangs on to it. They've used up 4. Sullivan for Jack Bird again. Grubbers off the legs there of Offahengawi. 6 more tackles for the Dragons. It falls for Ramsey this time. Tigers keep getting touches, giving it straight back to the Dragons for a brand new set of 6. Here's Hunt, takes them on. He's good at doing that, but not this time. Denied by Musgrove in particular. And also Offahengawi underneath him. Sullivan dropping back. Goes to DeBellin. Here's Ramsey. They've got numbers here. Sua can't get through the gap. Good tackle made by Kapoa. That was a try save. Now Lomax stepping from dummy half. He's strong. Dispenses with Asu Kapoa, his direct opponent out there on that far side. Sullivan swings it back. Here's Bird again, another grubber. Hunt is there. Did he play at it? It looked like he did, and it will be a 20-metre restart.
Well, the little grubber kick in and behind there. Didn't wait to the last tackle. It was Bird again for Hunt. Tries to knock the ball back in field. The Tigers shadow the ball over dead in goal. And they hang on. Well done there. They'll run to the pump, couple of repeat sets. And the Tigers have hung on.
It was the man who just played it as well, Starfatoa, who was shadowing the ball to the dead ball line under pressure from Ben Hunt. And now the Dragons give away a penalty inside the Tigers' 40.
Oh, what a place to get a penalty there for the Tigers. The clock starting to wind down now. They'll be under the pressure now to try and play that catch-up type footy. The Dragons, they had a chance in the last couple of minutes, just couldn't score. Let's see what the Tigers have got now on the halfway line.
They'll begin here in Dragons territory. They won just 3 of their first 11 games this season. They've only won once since that time in their last 11 games. Looking for just win number 5. They're close here this afternoon. Musgrove takes it down within 25 metres of the Dragons line. A Simpkin from dummy half. Comes across through Brown, Madden to Alungi. Stays alive, gives it back to Manu Brown. Musgrove for Dewey. Grubbers early in the set. Sloan going backwards. Is trapped there. Good work by the Tigers to ensure that he can't bring it back.
It's a good chase there through, winning behind though. Just tried to rush Dewey there. That was good play just to kick it in behind. Start to mount the pressure. Short line drop out from the Dragons.
Ben Hunt goes short. Junior Powder, it came off Powder inside the Dragons 10. There's going to be a penalty. I can't believe I've just seen that.
No, just wait. It's a kick and a change in possession.
That is incredible. Watch this again. Powder just standing there. What was he doing? Standing there and lets the ball hit him before it's travelled 10 metres.
We'll have a look at the kick for touch too. Just stand there in no man's land. You've got to know the rules. The Dragons get another opportunity. 0 tackles up over the halfway line.
Why was he inside the 10 anyway? I don't know we'll ever find a satisfactory explanation for what we just saw. The Tigers about to be on the attack. Might have been a penalty from right in front to make it an 8-point game, and instead here they are under pressure at their own end. In one play it might sum up their entire season. The Dragons for Ben Hunt comes back to the middle. Bird's been dynamic. He finds Jaden Sewer charging hard. Good tackle though by Simpkin. He'll play it for Sullivan. Wants one to go underneath him. Good tackle to Alungi. Boy, he has snapped some here in this second half. Sullivan really feeling that. He's grimacing. Bird on the last play. A kick not played at this time.
This is the ruling. He doesn't play it. You knock it on before it touches him. So it's a hand over here.
Knock on by Jack Bird.
He's doing everything to try and get his side home this afternoon. Jack Bird. Another error. Woods on the bench. Didn't had much game time. He's only on for a little bit of that the first half. Haven't been sided since. Oh no.
Yes.
Where do you want it?
Yes.
That's
a knock on by the Tigers again from inside their own 20.
That's the 28th error in this game.
Brett Kamali. We don't need a penny for your thoughts, Noddy, because, boy, at times during this role as the interim coach, it's been tough to watch. Talatawa Moan watching on from the bench while Jack Bird plays in the 5/8 role at the moment. And we'll need to hear from Anthony Griffin beyond full-time as to his thinking there. Moan has been very good in recent times, and he was full of praise for Talatawa Moan in the pre-game show, talking to the boys back in the studio. Sullivan here. Chance for the Dragons, and they will score a very simple try. Jackson Ford it is, who scores for St George Illawarra, and in a moment here, incredibly, will be locked up at 22 apiece.
And that's a huge difference there. Coming off the bench, Ford here this afternoon has run that hard, got himself involved in the game. Madden just comes up out of the line. I think he had eyes for Hunt, looking for that second man play. It didn't happen. They hit the front man, and Ford goes over, improves his position. This will level the scores, I'm sure, with the kick to come.
Well, Madden a number of times in this second half while they've been under pressure has been up very quickly and leaving some space back on his inside. And the Bellin realised that this time around. Ford scores his first try in 3 seasons now. The last time he grabbed one, his only try to this point before today was back in round 19 of round 22 of 2019.
It's a
long time between drinks.
It is.
Today playing in game number 32 of his career. Try confirmed. It all seemed pretty straightforward. Not sure why the legal will take so long to confirm that, but it's all good. And here is Zach Lomax next to the uprights. And he puts it between the posts. It's 22 apiece, and we go back to the short dropout by Ben Hunt, touched by Junior Pauga inside the 10, which gave the Dragons a penalty instead of the Tigers getting a penalty to make it an 8-point lead.
He was just standing there, just minding his own business when the ball come off.
It's still hard to believe. The Titans up against the Knights. That is beyond this one. Second game and final game, round 24. You'll see it on the Sunday ticket. These two teams, are they destined for Golden Point? We are 3.5 minutes out from full-time here. Adam Dewey, of course, he had that knock on from belly half. That didn't help their cause blocker.
Katonga is on the number 17 for the Tigers, making his debut too late in the game. A very handy back rower, I'm told, so looking forward to see him play.
They've only met once before in Golden Point, these two teams, back in 2015, and the Dragons won that one 32 points to 30. And here is Lomax moving in behind Tigers defenders who weren't back on the 10. It was Simpkin he was using as a bit of a shepherd. And now Sullivan. Here is Hunt. And they risk a long-range field goal here. Well, they just kick to the corners, play the percentages, and make the Tigers try and work it away. And they know the Tigers have got plenty of errors in them, and they've had to roll up their sleeves from their own end today. Here is Hunt, who puts it in the air. I thought Bird might have been half a step offside here. Laurie makes the catch. He steps past Bird, taken to ground though. Play on was the call, and so the Dragons make the Tigers work it from their 20. Let's see if they can do that without incident.
Yeah, a bit of a midfield bomb there that time from Hunt. It's giving the Tigers a fair bit of easy way to get off their own goal line. They're up over the 30 now.
Leone Kautonga is out there, the 19-year-old Fiji, becomes West Tiger number 261, getting a chance right at the death. Well, he might have a few more minutes beyond full time here, the way this one is headed. Brown, Madden, put down by the man on debut. Lomax weaving in traffic. He's got Moga on his outside, still going Lomax. He got hit pretty hard and high, it seemed, by Kapoa. There's a whistle, but no decision as yet. Now things are really flaring up. Jack Bird is in there. Kapoa is a man they're all after for the contact. And Lomax, if this is a penalty, you'd imagine will have a shot at penalty goal from the sideline to put the Dragons in front.
Well, Bird didn't like seeing what happened to his teammate there in Lomax. He's the man that reacted. Lomax with the great fend. He's calling his man back on the inside. Moga it is. And there's the hit, the shot. It's not bad. That's the question, I suppose. When's a man held?
Well, the contact here initially from Kapoa will be of interest. He gets him in the head. There's no question about that. And it will look to be a penalty to the Dragons given, we're going to see here from the officials on field. Kapoa being called out.
There's shoulder contact to the head. It's on report and you're in the bin.
And the Tigers down to 12
Go now, mate.
to add to the situation.
It's going to be a penalty
The
over
Dragons were down to 12 on 2 separate occasions in the first half. And going into the second half, now it's the Tigers who'll finish with 12. What a game this has been.
What are they going to do here? The Dragons right on the touchline. Max have a shot at goal.
Well, you would think. There's no question about the distance, quite obviously, for Lomax, but did just kick her off the ball. Kapoa goes to the bin for contact on Zach Lomax. Change of possession again. A ball put down by Kitiota Kautonga, fresh on the field. And it is Lomax with the ball under his arm. We'll use up plenty of time on the clock as well. And we'll be able to run the clock down to well inside 60 seconds here. He'll take his time getting it set. And if he kicks it, the Tigers will have to go short on the restart and try and do something pretty special.
And it's from the initial contact too, when he was driven into touch. If you have a look at it, Lomax has taken the ball where the contact was made, and the referees put the mark there. 5 metres in from the touchline. Let's see how ice cool he is, Lomax. Pressure.
Boos ringing out around CommBank Stadium. The Tigers fans. And an 80% kicker is Zach Lomax on the far right wing this season. He is 8 from 17. 5 in from touch. Less than 30 seconds remaining. He strikes it well, bending it back, and he kicked it. Lomax hit high by Kapoa. He gets the penalty and puts the Dragons in front, 24 points to 22. 17 seconds on the clock. What a kick this was.
Well, he knew it straight away. Off the boot, Lomax converts. Tough kick under pressure. Get themselves back in front.
I will labour the point, Blocky. I go back to the dropout by Ben Hunt, which wasn't going to go 10. The Tigers were potentially going to get a penalty right in front. Instead, they gave away a penalty. That was the game-changing moment. They go short here themselves on the restart. Ben Hunt comes up with the ball. Jack Bird is giving it to the Tigers fans here. And the Dragons will hear the siren sound, and somehow they have snapped one from the jaws of defeat. Trailing 22-16 with 5 remaining. They score 8 straight points. Staff at Toa can't believe it, let alone the interim coach Brett Kamali. What a win by the Dragons, and the Tigers remain in 16th position at the moment. At full time here at CommBank, the Dragons 24, the Tigers 22.